Hi, this is the Wile E. Coyote, and behind me you can see an air compressor that just burned completely. It ran for too long with a dry bushing or bearing or something and completely fried. Here's the footage of the exciting fire. This is what happens when a air compressor wears out and the bushings get shot and it overheats. I'm going to pull that hose away before it blows up. And here we go, putting out the air compressor that caught on fire. Mostly. A little bit more plastic there. There we go. This was a functional air compressor a few years ago, and then it stopped working. So my dad put it out in the junk to head to the trash. And then I needed one. So I took it and plugged it in and it worked, but it sounded like a bushing was shot or something wasn't right. A bearing was dry or something. It was clunking and noisy and smelly, and it would heat up. When I ran it for too long, it would heat up and smell nasty. But I hadn't had time to look at it yet, so I was running it to fill my air tank, and then forgot about it, and it ran probably about 5 minutes too long and heated up, so when I came outside the plastic was on fire. So that's what happens. Hey, before I let you go, I have 2 safety tips for you. Safety tip number 1, any air compressor, regardless of size or design, will overheat at some point. The very act of compressing air creates heat, and all air compressors are designed to handle that heat up to a certain point. This is a very heavy-duty model designed to handle a lot of heat, but if I ran it continuously, it would eventually melt itself down. All compressors, or most compressors, have a pressure switch on them that automatically turns the compressor off once it reaches a certain pressure value. However, that depends on there not being a huge leak in the system. If I were just to yank off the outlet from this compressor and so it was just open, it would run itself to death trying to keep up with that airflow. There is a motor overload, but it's basically a breaker that would turn it off if it's working too hard, but that's no guarantee that the compressor itself won't overheat and fail or catch something on fire nearby because of the sheer heat coming off of it at some point. So tip number 1 is when you're away from your shop or your compressor, wherever it is, unplug it from the wall. This model is wired directly into the mains, so to turn it off, I would turn off the main power switch right there. Now that compressor, no matter if the pressure switch says, hey, I need to turn on, it won't turn on because this doesn't have any power. The same rule applies to a small air compressor like the little one I had. Just unplug it from the wall. Then there's no danger. It might leak, but who cares? It won't at least turn itself off and burn the building down. That is a fact. People have lost their shops due to an air compressor being plugged into a power source and a leak, like a hose bursting or something, a leak happens and then the air compressor runs itself to death, literally burns the building down. So, rule number 1, disconnect your compressor from the power source when you're going to be away. Number 2 is, I forget. Safety tip number 2, never pour water on an electrical fire. As you can see here, when the compressor was actively burning, it was next to my house. I quickly unplugged it from the power and then moved it over to here, which is about 30 feet away from my house on the driveway where I dumped water on it. So I just wanted to clarify that I didn't pour water on a live electrical circuit. At this point, it was unplugged and just a burning blob of plastic at that point that was already destroyed. So I didn't care about pouring water on it, and it wasn't a safety concern either. So that's it for now. If you'd like to see more instructional videos, please subscribe right here, and I'll see you next time. This is the Wile E. Coyote.